Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the Animal Farm, broadcasting on the We the People radio network. If you'd like to give us a call or talk to Jason Bermas, 512-646-1984. We are talking to Jason Smiley Face Bermas. Yes, and I do know why they call you Smiley Face there, Bermas, because I was watching the PrisonPlanet.tv stream today, and you just had a permanent smile. It looked like you took like 5 ecstasy pills.
You know, it's because Jones is always cracking jokes like under the camera and stuff, and they're like showing me I can hear you off air commentary, calling me Bermy. And dude, I got nothing but love in my heart. This stuff is some pretty trying information, and I've been doing this, before even Loose Change since 2002, about 6 months after 9/11, and I just can't get down, man. I can't change. I want to get this to people so that they can have this as a part of their life, so they know what's going on, so that maybe we have a chance at restoring the Constitution and Bill of Rights, and maybe have some personal responsibility among ourselves as people to bring these people to justice. You know what I'm saying? And
Jason, I agree 100%. And that's why we joke around a lot on the show, too, because it's like you get dragged down by this type of information. It's such a depressing thing once you think about it. So we do a lot of joking on the show to keep our spirits up.
And that's why I'm glad I'm on this show. Like, I've been in Austin now since mid-April, and I've caught you guys several times, and I don't listen particularly to a lot of Patriot Radio. Obviously, Alex, I listen to Jack sometimes, but I love you guys. I thought you guys were really talented. I like the sound effects. You guys definitely have a lot of production value on your show, and you're talking about the real deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and just to add, and just to add too, I think it's so important to, just like you said, Jason, just keep the love in your heart, because this obviously is the information is so terrible, and when you dig deep, especially with some of the police state news, you just hear about such terrible stories, and you got to keep your chin up, because otherwise you go nuts, and then you start becoming a real pain in the ass. So we'll go. I think we got Jonesy on the air. Alex, you there?
This is Alex Jones. Can you hear me?
What's up, Alex? How are you?
Good. I just wanted to call in and say, Bermy is going to be leaving us next week, and I always like Jason. I've known him for a few years, but I really like him. He's been with us 5 months in the office. He said, hey, I want you guys to help me. This film idea I have, I just want to say that Fabled Enemies really is an amazing risk covering the issues that we cover, myself producing it, and Bermas, of course, being the director and there in the office, those guys too that have made it all possible. It's a very groundbreaking film, and it will be coming out in 10 days. People can get the DVD pre-ordered, and it'll ship out to them first at Infowars.com right now or PrisonPlanet.tv. But I just wanted to say that earlier, Bermas is walking around the office saying, I'm on the air. I dialed in. I'm on We the People. They don't hear me. So he's talking. I come in and start, no, they can hear you. So I start joking. I guess on Skype, when somebody else talks, because we're on Skype, that you can't hear them. So then I start going, hello, pig farm, hello, pig farm. And then start teasing you guys, and you guys don't even know this happened. So for about a minute, I was sitting there joking around, but I was also going with the spirit of the show. But no, I drive around and a few days a week, tune in and hear you guys, and I really do enjoy the show. I think you're the best show on your little internet network there, and I just really do like you guys. And you're right, we do need to bring some levity to this. In fact, on my own show, I'm really a person that screws around in private. I look pretty serious on my normal show, sound pretty serious. But, we were screwing around some today, and I realized, wait a minute, we're talking about the government blowing up Building 7, and then I was talking about anthrax attacks, and I was screwing around. But, you got to have some fun with this. And so I just called in to say that Fabled Enemies is a very important film, and I really want everybody to help us promote it because, we put them all out for free. Right now on PrisonPlanet.com, we have posted Truth Rising for free. And frankly, the film's losing money, and we're not really selling any of the DVDs. It's about getting it out. But Bermas needs the financial support so we can go on and make more films. And I hope that people will, because I fund everything I'm doing with advertising and other things. But I just hope that everybody will support Jason and what he's done with Fabled Enemies, because he's done so much in the Loose Change, group, and really hasn't gotten the credit he deserves. And so, that's why I'm fully behind Bermy. And I'm just going to let you guys go. It's good talking to you, but driving down the road, I sure enjoy listening to you. And it's just, Mainly, I wanted to call and see y'all later to the rebroadcast with me popping in like some madman. I was there in studio with Bermas.
Yeah, well, we did actually receive a couple instant messages from people saying that you were talking on the air over us and were joking about some stuff. So we did get reports of that. We couldn't hear from on our end, but this whole station is plagued with technical problems. It's actually hard to do anything, even get your intro played correctly.
We've learned to deal with it. But on top of it, first of all, Alex, thanks for the compliment. It really does mean a lot, and we appreciate your show. And on top of that, I think the way it works is that we see when you're going in through Skype, if it is a direct line, the ISDN line, we actually have to accept it, and then you're on the air permanently. I think that's the way it works. But I want to keep it going, and I want to get back to the phones. Ted in Texas, we'll try again. Ted, are you on the air? Hello.
Yes, sir. I really do enjoy your shows, guys. It does make me laugh and stuff, and enjoy your bumper music too. I did go out and buy that Panda Bear album, and if you put some links up on your site to what your other bumper music is, I'd be interested in that. But I want to know some talking points that I can discuss with my friends about Building 7. So could you go over a couple of talking points again?
Jason can do it. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, sure thing. First talking point is that this building was one of the most reinforced buildings of all time. It was supposed to be able to survive a 10-year hurricane or storm because, again, natural disasters were taken into account with this command center. On top of that, you have to know, again, this is the largest CIA base outside of Langley, Virginia, and the largest Secret Service office in the world. When this building came down, the FBI was ordered by the CIA to take command posts at the top of other buildings with binoculars to make sure that rescue workers and recovery workers did not take anything that was classified out of there, didn't take anything incriminating out of there. They controlled the crime scene from the very beginning. And the most irrefutable thing about 7 is the fact that it had hot spots and molten metal underneath it, which would be impossible from jet fuel or office fires, and so much so that when we confronted John Gross of NIST about this in Loose Change Final Cut, he had to deny the existence of the molten metal altogether. And right after that, we play the clips of people talking about the molten metal from, Ken Holden before FEMA to firefighters that were on the scene. So there are a few talking points for you, my friend.
I read part of their, I think, the press release, or somebody sent me something over the email, and they said some crucial beam got heated up by the fire, and it broke free of another support beam on the 13th floor. Mm-hmm. And I guess they're saying it made everything pancake again.
Yeah, well, what they're saying is that it expanded the metal. The metal then, it was no longer able to support the above weight, and then global collapse ensues, basically. I mean, this term global collapse had never been used before in the scientific community before these NIST reports that are so fraudulent that a 10-year-old who's taken one physics course can see right through them.
Yeah, on top of that, I want to add one thing, Jason. What about the countdown? If this NIST report has anything truthful to it, how could it have collapsed from fire weakening or expanding some kind of wacky beam that the whole building was built on, yet there was a countdown to the collapse? So how could they possibly have known when, at what point, the building was going to collapse from this amazing, perfect fire? And there were not that many fires. Every photo shows a couple of small fires. So this just, unfortunately, it's so easily debunked. But go on, Jason. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they can say fire till the cows come home, and, the reason they're not going to mention that countdown is the same reason they're not going to mention Barry Jennings or Michael Hess being inside that building, because if they were to actually interview those eyewitnesses, then the testimony would be different and they'd be forced to tell the truth. But since we didn't have an open forum or a public hearing with these people testifying, say, on C-SPAN, we only have these records because we've brought them up from 9/11/01 News themselves. And then, Dylan and I were lucky enough to hunt down Barry Jennings and get an interview with him before his testimony was tainted by the BBC. And I would like to note that in that BBC special, he told the same exact story minus one detail, and the BBC so heavily edited it that they actually did a reenactment where Barry Jennings was alone when he witnessed these explosions. And they manipulate the whole timeline. They make it seem that he was the only one there when we all know he was with Michael Hess. And then the only thing he recanted on was the dead bodies in the lobby. And I can only say that he probably recanted on that because someone said, hey, man, I'd hate to see you lose your job. We can't be having dead bodies in these lobbies. that messes up the whole report. So, everything else you said okay, but we can't get around that one.
Yeah, Ted, thanks for the call. We have a break coming up, and this is just one of thousands of smoking guns with 9/11 as far as government involvement at the very least. So, folks, we get back more of your phone calls. Jason Bermas on the Animal Farm Radio Show. Stay tuned. We shout with you.